Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, HeavyClone here and how y'all doing, bringing you guys another Fortnite video. So recently Epic has been making changes to the meta by adding new close range weapons and rebalancing existing ones, and I think it's important to actually keep a critical mindset about what changes are brought to the game because Epic isn't perfect, they can make mistakes, and when they do, it's important to, as a community, let them know of their errors so they can potentially fix them. So I believe most of the recent meta changes have not been a good direction for the game to be taking, and as such, in this video I'm going to elaborate on exactly what they're doing right and wrong, and also discuss a couple of ways to improve on the current state of the game so that we, as a community, are more satisfied with our gaming experience. So the main focus of these nerfs has been in nerfing shotguns and adding in many new close range weapons. Shotgun damage to players and structures has been heavily nerfed, and using 2 shotguns at once is pretty much impossible now. Rest in peace double pump. Also, some new weapons have been added such as the dual pistols, the drum gun, and the submachine gun. These changes have now shifted the meta from using 2 shotguns to a single shotgun and a fully automatic close range weapon to complement it. The result? Now cover can be shredded much quicker than before and people are using a wider variety of weapons, which is actually in line with an article that Epic wrote, which you guys will be able to find down in the description below. But basically, this article is essentially talking about how shotguns, rockets, and building are drowning out all other playstyles. So they've done exactly as they said. These changes have indeed made people to use a wider array of weaponry and diversified their playstyles, which is typically a very good thing. Now, in any other modern shooter, I'd be very happy with this push to diversify gameplay and give players options, but for Fortnite, this change has not been very well received by the community, especially the competitive side, and I believe the problem stems from the shooting model. You see, all these new weapons being used now have much more bloom involved, since instead of using primarily shotguns, people are resorting to fully automatic weapons to simply spray through cover and opponents, which means gunfights have much more luck in them. Also, the fact that these weapons use bloom has lowered the overall skill ceiling when it comes to close range gunfights, since it's easy to keep a cone of fire over your target, and whether you get hits or not is completely up to luck at that point. On top of it, there's bonus damage for getting headshots, which is ridiculous since getting headshots is also completely down to luck most of the time. I mean, pretty much if you aim at their head, you either hit or don't hit, it's completely up to the cone of fire. I simply don't understand why weapons whose accuracy is completely luck-based could cause bonus damage for headshots. Now, while the shotguns were definitely not consistent 100% of the time, at least they were regarded as somewhat reliable to take down opponents. Now you've got SMGs everywhere, meaning that in close quarters, a lot of engagements are actually being decided by who's getting lucky with the bloom. Again, the trend seems to be that Epic is doubling down on their luck-based shooting model, which is ridiculous considering that they're trying to create a competitive environment for their game with eSports events. After all, they did pledge to invest $100 million into creating a competitive scene. It seems pretty contradictory to me that they'd be doing this, but maybe since I don't have an insider access or an insider view to what Epic is planning, maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. For all I know, Epic might be working on a new shooting model and these changes could be leading up to it. If they implemented an actual skill-based, accurate shooting model, people would complain a lot less about weapon balance and issues, since there would be a lot less people dying from RNG. Of course, it wouldn't fix all of the luck-based elements in the game, but it would definitely go a very long way. Now, most of you probably weren't around for this, but back in December and January, Epic accidentally leaked a shooting test mode for a few hours, which had a full-blown recoil system. On screen now, you should be seeing some gameplay of it. Now, I never had the chance to play it personally, but I did speak with a few people who did, and they told me it felt freaking amazing, alright? I'm not sure why they haven't implemented it, because these people that did play it, they thought it was amazing. It did have like heavy accuracy in it, but this heavy accuracy essentially made it very high skill because you couldn't just spray down, you couldn't laser people down from like a kilometer away like people are scared with like a model like this, right? Because since you can see people from so far away, you could simply just, oh, he's over there, all right, aim right on him, hit every single shot and kill him insta-kill before you can even react, right? But you can't really do this with this shooting model because the recoil is so heavy. Also, it's been so long since the test that they may have just low-key stopped working on it without telling us, and that would honestly really suck because a shooting model that was pretty much based on recoil is something the community has wanted since like release, right? So like, why would they not implement this? This is something that the community unanimously wants. Well, actually, I do have one theory on why they might be holding onto their crappy shooting model, but this is only speculation. The way I see it, Epic is deliberately trying to appeal to its casual player base by intentionally lowering the skill ceiling. And this is exactly what is pissing off all of the hardcore players that are trying to get good at the game to compete. They want a competitive, skill-based environment, but Epic seems to want to milk Fortnite for every penny they can while it's super popular. So they're trying to please their biggest customer base, the casual player base that doesn't invest much time into the game and just wants to have fun. It definitely makes sense from a business standpoint, and at the end of the day, Epic Games is a business and they're trying to make money. What Epic doesn't seem to understand, however, is that once all of the hype around the game dies down and the casuals move on to the next big game, what is going to be left is the hardcore gamers. So if you neglect that portion of your community, in the long run, your game is likely to die out. This is actually pretty much exactly what happened with Epic's last game, Paragon, which was a MOBA. Now, most of you guys on the channel might not know this, but I actually played that game a lot and ended up competing at the highest level in it. Now, most people will tell you that Paragon was killed by Fortnite, but the real truth is that Fortnite was actually only the last nail in the coffin. Initially, Paragon was actually a really high skill, hardcore MOBA, and it really started to grow a competitive community around it, to the point where it was having competitive events with cash prizes of up to $10,000, and it was growing steadily. But over time, Epic got some new leadership to try and grow the game even more, and what resulted was that Epic started slowly lowering the skill ceiling, making the game more casual. This ended up completely killing the competitive side of the game, which pretty much killed off the entire community in the long run, leading up to them shutting down servers to move developers over to Fortnite once Fortnite started having a lot of success. Now, the reason I just went off on this tangent is because when I look at Fortnite right now, I see them headed in the exact same direction as with Paragon, and it honestly worries me. And while Fortnite is definitely not dying in any way right now, I'm pretty sure the game has already had its peak in popularity, so now Epic needs to seriously look at their past mistakes and try to learn from them in order for their game to see success, because I want to see Fortnite evolve into a long-term gaming community. I love Fortnite and would hate for its competitive potential to be wasted. It's fine to appeal to your casual players, just don't forget about us hardcore dudes that want to play competitively. Also, I'm sure you guys are going to point out that they have pledged $100 million towards competitive events, which is great, but so far we haven't really seen any true competitive events, so I'm still doubting Epic for now. But maybe they are starting to learn from their past failures. But anyways, I'm not going to get too much into that, because if I do, this video will go on forever. We're already like at 8 minutes right now, so it's pretty long already. So yeah, enough rambling. SMG Meta sucks because it increases RNG in the game and lowers the skill ceiling. But if they implement an accurate shooting model, such as the one they tested back in December/January, then it would actually be pretty legit. Maybe they're preparing for this new shooting model, and that's why they're making these changes. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down below if you think I'm right or full of it. And remember, these are just my own opinions. Anyways, enjoy my cringy outro, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm dreaming of a new subscriber, one that has pressed the like button. And he looks just like you, and turned on notifications, and will watch my videos